Hey, I feel like I said enough good mornings today, so I'm just gonna start with this topic. It's actually the student loans topic. It's a very interesting topic. It's because it's 1.8 between 1.7 and 1.8 trillion, something like that, which is that's a pretty huge number. That's like larger than lots of countries. But I have a crazy idea. Um, this could actually be used as a tool, right? For example, going in like with the current inflationary environment, going in and wiping out 10K or 5 or whatever it is for everyone. It's very inflationary. Especially if it's not going to the right people. But for example, if we wanted to help people right away, who would the people that would get help right away, which would not cause or add to the inflationary environment, um, and still kind of be, it's going to be arguable what's fair, but in my eyes, fair. It's individuals that are going to go into delinquencies. If they're going to go delinquent on their loan, then that's going to harm the economy. And this individual is most likely barely making ends meet. So student loans is coming after the rent, after whatever they're paying for their kids or whatever they're paying for their food, and after all the essentials. So when that individual's loans gets paid off, that month, it's not really causing inflation now, is it? Because if that individual can't pay it off, he's gonna either go delinquent on it or not be able to make the payment, or maybe borrow another high interest loan or something more messed up and add more leverage into the economy, right? So the game here would be to actually figure out who actually needs this loan, right? And pay it for them this month, next month, or for the next 3 months, or for that year, or whatever it is. And that's really the tricky part. But in my perspective, in my eyes, that could be done because I see these banks, for example, they have insane risk measures and risk precautions and fraud protection measures. So why there could be a system, to find out if someone applies for this sort of thing, are they telling the truth or not? And, at least be 90% accurate. That's where the game is. And I discussed before a fund. The fund is an insane idea. We know every year, or not every year, every 5 years, there's going to be a recession on average. Do you not want an extra tool? Right now, inflation is a problem. Maybe in 2025, 2026, 2028, it's not a problem. And we are in some kind of deep recession. And you need more tools. Because monetary policy, there's only so much you could do about that, especially if rates aren't really high. Fiscal stimulus, we all know about it. This is an additional tool. So in good times, if, for example, a tax was imposed on the not ultra high net worth, which is defined 30 or million or whatever, but ultra rich, 100 million above, right? And you build a fund, then that fund is like a new fiscal tool. Why are we not, we're so innovative in the United States, but for some reason we're not developing new fiscal tools or anything like that. You could develop a fund for that, and it doesn't necessarily have to be like a student loans sort of thing. Yes, it could go to student loans for the people that are not going to be able to make their payment, right? But since it's an inflationary environment, only the people that can't make their payments. But if this fund was to be built, in the next 1, 2, 3 years, then it could be like a black swan event as well. Maybe credit cards for some unforeseen reason is people's issue, and they're going to need some benefits or whatever. But it should be initially built for the student loans because it's a 1.8 trillion problem, which is huge. And when inflation, for example, is really low in the future and you want to spur up inflation, it's a fiscal tool, man. It's a new tool. Why don't we have some new tools? But in the meantime, I get it. It's not like you can't just rub a magic lamp and have a genie come out and make the problems disappear. But I just hope, like, these ideas, someone gets to see them and thinks a little bit differently. We need some different tools, and we have a chance here. 1.8 trillion is a lot of money, and we should definitely not cover everyone with a blanket. And that's like COVID stimulus. That's gonna make the inflation a lot worse. But we should definitely help the people that could barely make ends meet. No one should be having to choose. Should I buy? Should I buy, it's the last week, do I buy groceries or do I save money for the student loan? Anyways, that's kind of my final take on it. It's a welfare fund at this point, and some people need that welfare. Figure it out. Like, the experts should know who exactly needs it when they apply. And if someone's committing fraud, penalize them or something. But anyways, it's a new tool. I don't know why everyone is looking at it so bad. Fill up the fund, get a new tool. We need a bunch of new tools. Look at what happened in COVID. How many tools did we have then? Anyways, that kind of sums up my thoughts on the student debt crisis. Some view it as a crisis. It's a blessing if you make a fund the right way and fill that fund from individuals that wouldn't even notice if the money was there or not. That's today's main topic.